very good morning to you all. My name is Daddy Chris. I am reaching you from the SRTV desk in London. And sometimes I'm still not getting it. Sometimes on the African Radio Television and I'm on SRTV. We are the same. Anyway, it's a great day that Nigerians are prostituting. This time, not the women, not the men, the politicians. Wow. We're going to take a look at that today. But before we get into that big discussion, you see, Nigerians are not fair. Mary, please take a look at the wonderful letter from of apology from our dear senator to the Senate president. But as if things are not enough, we're going to take a look at some of them today. Listen, we really need to see them. This woman, apparently, she's not ready to give up. This babe, if I see you, me say, would they run now? Nigeria. This woman wrote a wonderful letter of apology. Don't go away. Mary is going to read that letter to us in this platform today. So we're going to start the show with her letter of apology, so-called apology. You know, she's very, very sarcastic. Natasha, you wicked. If man beg yourself, you don't agree, you don't leave her below. Anyway, that is on one side. But I see Nigeria, una hate Akpabio, una hate Akpabio, una hate Akpabio. So una not see anybody give Akpabio. What's the difference between Natasha and Bianca? And the man has some 500 million for one night. Una go give her. You see, look at the next image I want to share with you. And in fact, I've never seen Nigeria this weekend. Wait now, read the other image. Oh, I want to see this image. Hey, see about the iron. If Ojuku catch you, even if Ojuku, if suppose Ojuku they alive, the slap when Akpabio forget now. Better slap. Anyway, so those are some of the things we'll be looking at this morning, my people. We're gonna look at them. We're gonna make fun of them, and on a good day, that issue of what is happening in the Senate is that now they couldn't prostitute. The Senate president is a prostitute because if any man of his age, when office stay for one bed, is a prostitute. Not the only woman they prostitute. Though the Bible does not recognize men as prostitutes. I know that one. So men not they prostitute, and Mary will begin fight. But Mary will say, men they prostitute, men don't prostitute. But Akpabio is the only prostitute man I know in Nigeria. Anyway, as wicked as Nigerians could be, or whether or not the president gave this order, you send him to the Pope, holy burial. You send the prostitute to the holy burial and you give him a tantalizing meat. The most beautiful woman in Nigeria. Wow. Let me bring the people into the show quickly. Mary.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? I mean, make a remove prostitution from your face. But I'm not saying that you will talk about. You can't see a beautiful girl like you see political prostitution. How are you?
That's for politicians.
For politicians. I know you, my daughter. How are you doing? How is Abuja? It's like Wike has calmed down for some days now. The person in front of the camera now is actually Akpabio. Akpabio, between Wike and Akpabio, who is getting the attention? It's Akpabio.
It's Akpabio for now. I think as of last month, it was Wike video stuff.
Nice, Akpabio. Akpabio is in the book. They all of them. At least Wike and money they look for. Akpabio na actually they look for. Lagos even. Anyway, let's quickly join by the studio in Asaba. Oh, Asaba, I don't know whether to congratulate you or to cry for you because apparently your government is cross-carpeting today. It's a big day in Asaba. I'm sure you guys are celebrating. Let me just celebrate with you guys. You guys will tell me what you guys make of it. What did you
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it's history that is unfolding in Asaba this morning. The jet that is bringing the vice president to Asaba is about touching down. And of course, like most political gatherings, people are gathered in Cenotaph just by the bank of the historic Niger. And what is about to happen is that the structure PDP is to be formally handed over to APC. So billboards everywhere, renewed hope for more. renewed hope for more. Renewed hope stands for Tinubu's administration, and more is about Sheriff's more agenda. And, it just reminds us of today is 28. Yeah,
28,
today
yeah.
is 28. It's a history, very, very historic. Then a flashback to 1970. 1970, January 15, 1970, in Dodam Barracks. It was another history in the making when General Philip Effiong, after presiding over Biafra for about eight days, handed over Biafra willingly to the Nigerian government. That was under a military dispensation. But today, we are seeing, from 1970 to today, we are seeing another willing full handover to an opponent, even without allowing a shot to take place. And again, but even the women, because what is happening in Delta now affects everybody. Some women, in fact, had to educate me when I saw them with their wrapper, but it was neither APC wrapper or PDP wrapper. Then when I questioned them, they said no, they have decided to keep the umbrella wrapper somewhere now, that they can't throw it away because they might need it come, that's post 2027. If the women on the street know that the rapper is on holiday, it might be needed someday, then perhaps it doesn't require so much of deep analysis to understand that what is happening now may just be a political survivalist strategy and some level of realignment. And already is the major talk in the papers, where Tinubu is asking the opposition, don't blame me for your inability to take care of your home. And of course, PDP has decided that tomorrow, Tuesday, they should be meeting in order to find out how Hurricane Tinubu. So it's not only the women that are hurricanic, how they can stop this Hurricane Tinubu with respect to issues of defection. So it's history in Asaba. But whether you are to congratulate us or to rejoice with us in Delta State is left for posterity to judge, because for the first time in a number of years, we shall be seeing the likes of Ibori on the same podium with Okowa, just manager. Only perhaps Uduanga, on account of health, might be missing out. So those who have held sway politically since 1999, we shall be seeing them on the same platform. Is that a united front, or is that deferring the days of tussle? It's left to be seen. But it is historic what is happening in Asaba as cenotaph about now.
Well, incidentally, unfortunately, we're faced with an irony in leadership that is premised on survivalist tendencies being postulated by the ruling PDP in Delta State. You see, we still have a lot of discontent voices who are still pained with the order of things, and of course, that this is not how it should be done. One or two honorable men have left the PDP, and their argument is that they are for the people. It's an idealistic something, and they are not saying the ideology within that party. But however, we're looking at the kind of democracy we have fostered on ourselves as a nation. A democracy that is premised on survival, not for the electorate or for the people or for Nigerians, but for the ruling class. The desperation of the ruling class to remain relevant at all costs without caring about ideology and manifesto projections. I was privileged to be at the airport, follow them to the government house before I left yesterday. The entire structure of the APC National Working Committee and leadership, along with the APC governors, the APC senators, they all touched down on a chartered flight yesterday at the Asaba International Airport and straight to a rendezvous in Government House where Festus Keyamu, actually eulogized the Delta State PDP for moving structure to the APC and welcome them on board. That well, they are not strange bedfellows as most people postulate. They are brothers and sisters from the same father but different mothers. And
Okay. All
I
right.
was a wolf with laughter because I saw in their eyes greed, self-interest, avarice, and desire to continue to subject the collective will of the people to the machinations of a certain few, which doesn't go well with idealists like us. And that is not the kind of competitive opposition that I expect. Now, the collapse of PDP structure is a shame. I would think maybe after the break, I'm going to give guides here in the studio a video of Senator Kowa during the campaign, and you hear what he was saying about the APC. And I've been privileged to bring some of the big players of the PDP on programs on television and radio. And if you see the castigation of of the APC, you will now begin to wonder what has changed all of a sudden, what has transformed their mindset towards the acceptance, the general acceptance of the APC as the leeway. Nothing has changed. What has changed is their ambition for 2027. I spoke to a certain commissioner yesterday. Rather, the commissioner called my attention to put some things in the media this morning, and her cry was, we might lose our jobs. I didn't want to
Certainly,
bring the
certainly.
affirmation to reality for her, and this is true because after the declaration today, they will sit down. There's a formula that have been projected over the last 1 week, 60-40, and the formula. You see, the people in APC that they are going to meet are people that have been so aggrieved in while they were in the PDP. 98% of the constituents of the APC in Delta State are former members of PDP, and they were not just ordinary members; they were members with structure. And the APC state chairman Sobotier was the founding member of the PDP, in very great alliance with the Ibori bloc. And so many of them, you have Victor Oche, you have the former deputy speaker, and so many of them that have powerful influence. Now, they are welcoming these people, but look, these are going to be strange bedfellows because I see within the next couple of years a capitulation of the so-called APC structure, and most of them will now start running back to the PDP. I want to reference a certain narrative from a television pundit, and he said that yes, Labour Party did not have a single governor in 2023 in any state, but you could see the force and the voice of the people holding sway during the election. But for the
All right. The network has started.
ball game. So the people for me are the ones that matter right now. The electorate.
Yeah, we are with you.
Interest personalities who have seen politics as the only leeway towards actualizing their selfish interest. But interestingly as well, today is going to be a commercial boom. I ran into a friend yesterday, and in Siena was over 3,000 brooms that they traveled to, I think, Sapele area, that's our axis, to go and buy. That was in only one Siena, 3,000 brooms. And I asked what they're going to do. They said, man, say it's going to sell one for like 2,000. And 3,000 brooms are still going to be broken down. A broom will be shared into three or four parts, and they will still sell that. So people are going to cash out today from the cenotaph, whether you like it or not. For some
Where are
people,
you?
it's about the business they're going to be making.
The
For some,
broom is
it's about their
selling.
interest in the campaign. For others, it's about their political ambition moving forward. But I must let us know one thing: that the PDP structure is being carried over to the APC does not guarantee a sweet sailing for His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Delta State. There's still a lot of mathematical calculations and alignments to be met and to be done for us to truly have a reflective cabinet, as the case may be. Yes, the state cabinet might be dissolved in the next couple of days, and of course, politicking would start. And egos are going to be bruised, personalities are going to be bitter. But summarily, what has happened is an affirmation of what we've always postulated on our programs here, that the electoral, rather, the political class do not recognize the electorate, they don't recognize Nigerians. What they are much more concerned about is their selfish ambition. I looked at most of them yesterday. Some of them that have hotels, you see some that have private schools in Saple, Warri, big hotels. They are not doing it because of, they are doing it because of their hotels, their businesses. But none, and not one of them has a factory. They were also relaxed, laughing, and you begin to wonder, are this the opposition that we had in Delta State? So, my brother, it's an unfortunate situation, but the reality on ground is that political prostitution is a lexicon that is mostly applicable and highly applicable to our kind of democracy here in Nigeria. There is nowhere in the world that I have seen and I've imagined, even in my dreams, in my nightmares, that this kind of thing can happen. I mean, opposition is the salt of democracy. If you take away the salt from a soup, it becomes tasteless. And that is what we're seeing presently.
Mary, what do you think? Are you happy? Are you selling brooms? What is your own?
Ah,
No,
I am
Mary,
not
Mary,
selling
yes.
okay.
I am not selling broom, just like what Mr. Mishak said. This whole thing that is happening, honestly, just like a caricature to the people of Delta States, in as much as what they are doing is for their own interest. I feel like I've said this thing over and over again. I feel like the effect of this thing will be in the future. The people that are looking up to these so-called leaders that are not leading by example, because let's be realistic, they are not leading by example. So what do they want people to learn from? What about people that depend on them, right? Because they're in that party. And okay, this party is supposed to have a policy, a structure, and the next thing you're leaving to another party, you want to go and start dragging seats with people that are already there. It doesn't just make any sense at all. The way it's time, it looks as if PDP has nobody again. I don't even know who and who we have in PDP and who is still
Exactly.
remaining in PDP and who
Exactly.
is still going to move. Even though I know that, just like the news around that, it's not all about all the governors leaving the party. That even if they don't have any governor, it doesn't stop them from winning. But I feel like it can still affect it. Honestly, I don't know if I would say the present APC is stronger than ever APC we ever had in Nigeria. This one is too strong, like it's so powerful to the extent that it's actually controlling everything right now. And they get everything they want. How? How do they do it? That's the question. So sometimes when they talk, I'll just be listening and I feel like, how do they do this thing? How are they able to convince these people? Is it all about money? Are they things they offer to them? Why are they changing like that? Why is nobody saying no? Why is everybody accepting? It calls for worry, honestly.
Yes. And that's a big word. Many ask a very difficult question. Why are they all really doing this without saying yes or no? Perhaps the only language, the only explanation is a prostitute, maybe. A prostitute does not have to say no. All the prostitute wants is money. And that is the only explanation I can give here. You understand? So, and number two, these are people, they all have the same ideology. Go there and loot. That's why they can share the same platform. Otherwise, why would I stay in the same platform with a thief if I'm not a thief? You understand? Or why it's just that they are the same. They believe in the same thing. They know what the game is all about. It's about you getting your interest and get out. And it is sad. It's very, very sad. But like what we're saying now, let us not be confused. When the Baba was contesting, he said PDAPC. Is it not what happened? PDAPC. So that's what we have now. We have PD. It has come to pass. PDAPC. That is the new
It's
party.
like we are now operating in a one party state.
A one party
That's
state.
like
The danger is only in the interest of the people, Mary. That is the fear. Because, like I said, when the system, I was so happy during the last Christmas, my community were happy because the APC guys were trying to impress, the PDP guys were trying to impress, and at the end, the people benefited. They were running back to us, but now they're going to run to themselves. It's now about APC and PDP fighting in Delta, trying to get the money. They don't care about you anymore. You are the loser. You, the ordinary debtors, you are the loser. You will see it. We will watch them play with our money. Oh, Fela said it all. He said two people they fight with big money and the rest they hungry.
Are you
If
going
Fela
to blame the
went
people
to
of Delta
Babylon,
State that they
yeah,
have a governor that they all know that is a governor in the PDP party that just changed? You
but
understand?
it's
And he
not
now
good
shifted
news.
to another party. Yeah, so
Let me say this.
I feel like
Let me,
that's one of the most shocking news that we have because the truth is nobody expected it.
nobody, nobody.
Nobody
And in fact,
expected it.
no, our is the biggest shock
I'm
of
not
the
surprised
country.
about the ex-governor. Okawan did not surprise me. I'm talking about the present governor. That is even the
Yes,
shock.
that's the
Nobody
shock. Yeah.
expected it.
But maybe let's put some things in history. Asaba. When I know vessel, I want to talk about Asaba. And we want to look back to history. Asaba has been a very, very historic place. And they are witnessing another history today. I will say this. During the First Republic, children of history might want to quote me. After the election, Awolowo called Azikiwe that let us meet and plan for the north. You understand? This is what happened. Let's not blame ourselves. This is a fact. Let's meet. Isaac said, okay, let's meet in Asaba. Awolowo traveled to Asaba to wait. Awolowo was in Asaba. Zik was in the north. You understand? At the end, there was a betrayal. So what happened with prostitution? There's always betrayal. Asaba was the capital. Before the 2023 election, the governors of the South gathered where? In Asaba to discuss where we will go. The chairman of the place was actually Okowa. Okowa ended up being the vice presidential candidate for somebody in the north. They said, on no account will the candidate come from the north. But Okowa was the candidate for the north. Thank God they didn't win. Well, today we are witnessing another shameful history. I say maybe children will judge us correct, wrongly or rightly. For me, I think what happened is why not? It's like they are trying to fight for their interest. But it is our destiny. Maybe this governor said, "Oh, I have right to the camp." No, you don't have right to the camp, sir. You decamp with our destiny, with our money. It's not your money. You were not. You see, there's something that people don't understand. Governance is not about you. You only enthroned. You only been empowered. You have only been empowered to do something for us, and anything you do is binding on us. And now looking at the people of Delta State, and I want to cry for them. The person we really need to beat today is Okowa. Because had Okowa allowed the primaries or the election to be free and fair, maybe we will not be where we are now. But in a way, it's good. You know what Okowa did for us? Okowa was able to break the structure of Delta State. It was one-sided for too long. It was only Bori. At the point in time, Okowa was able to break that dynasty, and it was good for politics. Very good, because what was happening that some people were still loyal to Ibori, some were loyal to Okowa. At the end of the day, all of them now want to impress us because they now know we are important. Ibori camp was coming to us. Okowa camp was coming to us. I want to say this to the kings. They will not call you anymore because you are no more relevant. In those days, they will still come to you. They will not come to you. Start to laugh now. Be happy. Tie rapper. But you will not be important anymore because they are not going to fight how many one comes to Ibori camp and the one that comes to the Okowa camp. Let's talk about the two people here. It's Okowa and Ibori, not the people playing this game now. You are playing these two people that have been playing with our destiny for so long. I asked the Delta State, where are we today? We don't seem to, a state that is so blessed. When we talk of this state, you guys don't get it. This is a very, very rich state. Now, Delta State could be Dubai, better than Dubai. Because we don't only have the oil, we have the land. Have you seen what? In fact, when the white people landed Delta, they shout, "Oh my God." Because there's nothing you're looking for that is not in Delta. Don't forget the same Delta that connect the River Niger. That have the Ethiopia. Go to the Escavos. Tell me what you don't have in Delta State. Tell me one thing that you can discover in any part of the country that is not in Delta State. But look at the state. Look at the state. You don't, in fact, last time they said Delta people are comfortable and the most comfortable people in Nigeria. I said, are you guys joking? All of my boys, they all people from my place. That keke that they ride, keke and Okada. That's what the boys in my place. That's the most of the job there. If they are not into that, then they are into Yahoo. If you don't get into that, then you get SA job from Oborivori. Oborivori copied exactly the same model of Okowa. Give them SA, give them PA, so you have peace. In fact, what I'm saying may be sad. Most people don't want to hear this, but you know the truth. History will judge us. Those people that killed Jesus, they thought, oh, Jesus, that we want to end the matter, but history is not judging them. Wherever they are, when they see in the name of Jesus, they disappear. I want to say to some people today, don't be scared who kills you. Maybe that person actually brings you to glory. Be worried about the kind of life you live. What is going on in Delta State today, in this show of shame, it's not the simple thing you see on the surface as political prostitution. It's deeper than that. It's about mismanagement of the greatest state. It's not in the world. Go to the terrain. If you've been to Delta State terrain, you will see what you can do with the water. You see what you can do with the land. It's not news anymore that we have, oh yeah, that's why the allocation coming to Delta is small. But what can you show? What do you have to show for it? Is this the thing you are going to see now? You know, and what is so sad, the presidency is always interested in Delta State. You know what? You have money. Ibori wasted our money in the next Yaradua election. Odua wasted our money for good luck. Okowa wasted our money for Atiku. Now, this one couldn't even wait. We can tell. If this is the beginning, there's a girl I was talking to. The way we're talking, I said, if this is the beginning, I can tell you what the end going to be. With this one with Oboriwori, he hasn't even got no courage. I don't know who asked that guy to run for government. Courage, he doesn't have. If this man, if you tell us, okay, if he give you a wife, because he get waiting, he go do man. He go tell you, say, no go near where my wife be. With what is going on, if two people say, give me your wife, now less than once, you say you go take. Sorry. Because if you don't have a say, what is now I want to ask, maybe ask one question, and let's put it in that context first. And let us make it very brief so that we can talk to one another. Let's do it one by one. Why do you people in this studio think Oboriwori accepted this deal? Sincerely, why did you think it's going to lose the election or it doesn't have money? So maybe I can help you. Why do you think so? Let's make this brief so we can talk to one another, so we can bounce on one another here. Why do you people think, why is this man happy with this deal?
Well, I think first and foremost, there is an overwhelming influence from the predecessor in office and the person to whom he owes the fact that today he is the governor of Delta State, because he has had to say it severally that yes, he was a speaker and one of the longest lasting speakers in Delta State, but that he had never at some point contemplated or envisioned himself being a governor. I wouldn't know why that is so, but this was what he had said, and we can judge him from his own utterances, so that he owes it all to Okowa. And of course, we do also know that a number of people who, especially from Delta North extraction, you don't lobby him straight. And of course, by extension, a number of other places. So people who needed certain levels of job, they would rather go to Owalero. So yes, it's just a matter of slight difference in style, mannerism, and level of aggression. You know, the difference between Okowa and Wike in terms of godfatherism and the display of that is about finance. It's about finance. Wike happens to be a lawyer. Maybe lawyers are a
The
bit more
lawyer would have been
assertive
more
and
careful.
slightly
Wike is
more
not
brutal.
displaying the attitude of a lawyer.
Okowa happens to be a medical doctor. Maybe they are more
Yeah.
tender with issues and all
Human
that.
being.
The finance, but the godfatherism thing has played out so enormously that you need a particular kind of a job or appointment in the state. You may not get it if you go straight to the incumbent in power, but the tendency is there that you could get it when you start from Owalero, and Owalero puts across a call across to
Very good.
government house. So I think that is what is playing out. So the influence has been overwhelming, and yes, Okowa no longer feels that he has a future in PDP. And from being a councillor, a ward councillor, to a local government chairman, to commissioner a number of times, and he had aspired to be vice president, hoping that Atiku will run for one tenure, and he had aspired that at some point he could be that politician in Nigeria who could say that he started as a ward councillor and he made it to presidency. You understand? So reality check now that Atiku seems to be still calling the shot in PDP, and Okowa's influence is not being factored in, and he tends to ask himself a question: what future do I have in PDP? And if that is the case, I could now do a spoiler role for PDP and move on to APC. APC appears to have a wider umbrella. Forget about the broom. PDP has an umbrella, but APC, the way it is now, has a wider umbrella ready to accept anybody. So he felt that he could go, but understanding the influence that he has on the person he handed over to, he feels that himself going will not be head shaking, will not be a political earthquake, just as when he is going with the current governor. And that is why what is happening today is like political undertakers from the center, from Abuja, have come to do an official liquidation of PDP. But political promoters are saying that this might not, there's a caveat. What you are seeing might not be the end of PDP, because whatever happened between now and 2027, chances are that PDP bruised may have a resurgence and may gather back again, especially when APC at the center is not impacting on the lives of the people, especially when since 1999 PDP had appeared to be a traditional for the people of Delta State. Don't forget that from the sharing formula that will happen in the next couple of days or weeks, some people will lose out. And these are people who will go into inner retrospection and ask themselves, we are losers in this game. PDP is not being delisted as a party. So what may be happening today may appear like a liquidation, but people will gather and see how they will come up again. And so we see a resurgence. We can predict a resurgence of PDP, and it might come out to be powerful, because these people, the Omo Ageges, they are not strange bedfellow. Ejide Mishak said that much. They are not strange bedfellow. The founding members of APC in Delta State happen to be people who felt aggrieved and left. So at the end of the day, they have all found themselves around the same table. And don't forget, it is the same resources that is available, it's the same number of positions. So people who are aggrieved will also gather around the umbrella. So we have not seen the end of the story about the umbrella. But what could have led a sitting governor to have taken this kind of decision that doesn't have so many historical references and that may not have been equal in the past. At the beginning, we tried to see how to link it with what happened in 1970, when Philip Effiong handed over. That was after there had been so much program. That was after there was, or even Ojukwu had run away. That was after many people had paid the price.
Yes.
And now he had no option. But were there some other options that were available for Sheriff Obore? Yes. But
a lot.
Maybe because of the mode of the kind of leader that he is, the kind of mold, or because there are molds of leaders, and he decided to follow his master. Today, he will be negotiating with the likes of Ibori. And if you see Ibori, you see a Devie, and you see Delta Unity.
You see Agege, you see all these battalions.
You see ABA, you see ABA, you see Osanebi, and you see them. And I just begin to imagine how safe he will feel in that kind of environment.
You can't forget
the greatest loser will be Delta. I don't know how long that will last. Delta's resources will be losers, because at the end of the day, it's going to be settlement. But those who have come as political undertakers from Abuja, to do the requiem mass for PDP, they should be better advised that what is happening, what is playing out is politics. And politics is not too different from politics. So at the end of the day, the party you think you may have organized the requiem mass and buried, you will find out that the grave was not properly buried, because the tendency is there that is going to resurrection does exist, and it's going to resurrect and be more powerful when it resurrects, because it has passed through the toils and the trial. So that may be what is playing out. It may have been a case of where my master goes, there I go, and I do not have so many options, because I never aspired in my own personal competence and personal assessment of myself. I never saw myself in the mode of a governor. Somebody made me a governor. So whatever he says, I now do and follow. That on its own will be left for posterity to actually judge the firmness or the loopholes in such a decision.
Yes, interestingly, we're faced with an irony of democracy, whose trajectory has been faulted by the interest of a few who are, out of desperation, have manipulated the people of Delta State. The shock is still in the faces of everybody except those that have political alliances, the appointees, the elected, and all that.
They are all shocked.
Yes.
They are all shocked.
So, Engineer Mishak, please let me. You will take it from here, but let me explain to you. It's not only the living that are shocked.
Even the dead.
It's not only the living that are weeping today.
Exactly.
The EK Clark has not been officially buried.
Exactly.
But whichever morgue or mortuary where they are putting him, EK Clark's body will now be disturbing the mortuary attendant.
Exactly.
Because EK Clark will be asking himself, is this the Delta? What is happening?
Thank you.
And if anybody can get close to the morgue where the body of EK Clark is
the man
today,
is crying.
he will want to come out and ask, what is happening?
Yes.
What is happening? So it's not only the living that are shocked or that are mourning. Even the dead are asking themselves questions.
Quite unfortunately, now when you in your opening salvo, you talked about whether we are happy. We are sad, very sad. There's no Delta, and I must say, that is happy except the political class. Now, what actually happened? It was an interest-based defection. Interest-based defection. The former governor Okowa has been in the eye of the storm, and incidentally, his case was supposed to be coming up shortly in the next couple of weeks. And if you see Okowa's pronouncement, or rather Iboriwere's pronouncement, came first before Okowa, in agreement, was saying, along with all my PDP structure, including the former governor. Now,
Aye.
the premise during that campaign was where they were even saying, if you want your sins to be forgiven, join us. Even after the campaign, if you want your sins to be forgiven, we own the judiciary, we own everything, we own the structure. Now, the case was overwhelming, 1.37 trillion. And it would have been a case that would have even indicted both members of the present cabinet in Delta State. And if the case will be forgiven by our decamping to the APC, so why not? It's nothing to lose, everything to gain. The only thing that will be lost is that some who have political appointments will lose it, because there's a sharing formula for the old APC structure and the new PDP structure coming into APC. So you look at it and ask yourself, are these honorable men? I remember what we did with Shakespearean literature then, when Brutus, when we talk about friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Mark Antony was saying this: I have come to bury Caesar and not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them, and the good is often interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus once said that Caesar was ambitious. Did this, I've forgotten the line, but interestingly, all these things are playing out every day in our political literature. Fela Nicola Kuti, everything he sang in the 70s and 80s are things that are still happening in till today. And in his grave, he will be laughing. These were things Ganifa Wemi fought for. These were things historians fought for. Our government is not even talking on how to bring history back into our curriculum. A lot of this generation of children and future generations will be lost when you ask them what questions relating to Nigeria. How was Nigeria formed? We have a historical perspective where the founding fathers, they are but Macaulay's, the first generation politicians, even though they were early prostitution, but not the way we are seeing it now. This is mega prostitution politically of the highest level.
Sorry about that, cutting in. The official spokesman for Delta State, who happens to be the commissioner for information, in his last press briefing, he said something along the line that when the palm wine changes in taste, the palm wine drinker will change position on how he can drink it.
So you can see.
So I have been trying to find out what has changed in the palm wine of the renewed hope. What has changed in the impact of Abuja on the state and even the federal infrastructure in the state? What has changed in the relationship between Abuja and Delta State with respect to resource allocation and resource sharing? So one is left to be seen. Maybe I don't know whether it's you who is in Asaba here that is in a better position to answer that, or the person in Abuja should be able to explain to us what has changed in the taste of the palm wine that has required the palm wine drinker to change his position in order to see how to take it.
What has changed is very simple. Probably when you were drinking the palm wine in PDP, you were using glass, you were using mugs. But now, if you come to APC, you are going to use calabash, which is more traditional and more honorable a way to drink palm wine. But however, moving forward, there was, I can't remember who made that comment. I think it was, I read it somewhere in the last couple of days. And they said that what is happening, that they are planning for 2027, and it will look a situation that if we allow the presidency to remain with us, and we have the numerical strength, I'm quoting the person, and the APC with the Southern presidency have the numerical strength in the executive and in the legislature, it will be easy for them to take care of constitutional reforms. I laughed. So you need to have the majority to take care of constitutional reforms. That was that they're selling. That is the narrative they're selling to the gullible. That maybe the regional government will stay. That it will be easy for
issue of power devolution and restructuring.
They are joking.
Everybody.
They are
That's
joking.
It's not a smart. It can't fly.
It can't fly.
No. It's not even a brilliant lie to tell. It's not a smart.
Who are they fooling? Who be mumu?
Well, they are fooling themselves and the gullible. Okay, coming here this morning when I was driving down to the studio, I saw buses. They are already hired. You see women inside. Men are the shame. I will not enter for 10,000 naira. I will join a bus. I will travel from Warri, from Saple, Ogara.
My wife go there. You don't go come back to my house.
That you are coming.
If my wife
what relevance?
You will not come back.
You will go and marry them. You will just do your reception in the cenotaph.
The populace, we have an idle populace. We have an idle populace. The economy is not working. And because of insecurity, women can't even go to the farm. You know, so, and this is like recreation to them. Okay. Don't forget the level of education of the number of these people. So they trade with them. You know, somebody has a contract to fill up 3-4 buses of women from Ugeli and bring them and deliver. It's about crowd renting so that the place is not sparse. Let there be people. Let us give a semblance that the people are behind us. So it's about crowd renting. That is what is happening. And you are thinking of the number of people in terms of the population, not the quality of people. I do not see a sound lecturer in Denis Osadebe University that would this morning live. Denis Osadebe is just 2-3 kilometers to Cenotaph. But I wouldn't see a sound lecturer that will leave the premise of Denis Osadebe University and move to Cenotaph to go and do what? Because what is happening, what is playing out on its own is nauseating, and he wouldn't be comfortable there. So he knows the 10,000 naira will be shared there, but to him, he would rather manage the 2,000 that he has rather than go there and witness that and be given 10,000 at the end of the day. So it's about a population that with limited education, lack of ideology, and when hunger is playing out and the means of the livelihood of the people have been almost crumbled, then there are people that in Patani you will tell you are going to Asaba, you are going with us, and they will be happy because that brings them up from Patani and come into Asaba. That is where we are, but it's not where we should remain.
Besides all that, Chris, the Delta State School of Nursing, they are starting the examinations today. And incidentally, I have proxies there. And I was listening to my younger sister this morning. He said that they said that they will all have to go to Cenotaph after their exam this morning. So I asked that one question. On what basis are you going to Cenotaph?
Our daughters.
On what basis? You are going to be? It's going to be seen that you are showing solidarity, that the nurses that are in support. You see, we the followers, we the elected, we have our own problem. Because if we renege in some of these agreements with these politicians when they come to hire you for 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 5,000, you say no, we are going nowhere. We begin to stand firm in alliance with our own conscience and ideology. Things like this will not happen.
Let's not forget what happened at Invent Center when the president's wife came. The same school of nursing, they made them to be there. Yes, they were there. And they listened to her. And they said he came to give them
castle
and rubber sale pass with which they can give their condom and all that. These were things, crops. These were things they can afford. And in a health system that is facing a whole number of challenges, and you have come to give them rubber slippers. And so when the MC, I think it was Pastor Powell, said, about the song that was going on. Now our mama be this. So they say, now your mama. That was the voice populi voice there. The voice of the people, the voice of God. They are saying no. this
It's not our
woman
mother.
and the husband cannot represent our father and our mother.
Because our father and mother cannot leave us in this kind of
situation.
Exactly.
A mother should have breast of woman kindness, milk of woman kindness. A father should care. Have you eaten? They have not shown us the care a father and a mother can give. And of course, we do know what happened, and the young women posted it. So sometimes they are more at home. Crowd renters are more at home with the elderly women, because the young generation of
don't try them.
and
If
you bring them into that kind of place, you are not guaranteed. You won't be sure what they will do with the information they will gather there. You understand? Because they are part. They are not just citizens. They are netizens. They are part of the greater. Fold of the online. And
they forgot. They forgot
it's
a small girl. This is one of them that came and said, Mr. Tinubu, you are a honorable president. You forgot.
Exactly.
Women.
That's the voice of a generation. That is the voice of a representative of a generation. So they are not the generation that sells.
These are hurricanes. Women.
Yes, serious
You use the right word for women. They are hurricane. If they unleash their anger, the country will stand still.
I'm a victim of their anger. So I can attest to that. Yes, the volatility.
We all be there. We all be there.
Of a woman. Yes, the wrath of a woman. We can never. But however, moving forward, we're in a crazy generation politically in this country. A generation of interests, a generation of conflicts, a generation of political manipulations, and of course, not a single ideology. I weep because when I sit down and look at listen to some of the speeches that the players like Nnamdi Azikiwe gave about Macaulay, Awolowo, Amadu Bello, Tafawa Balewa, even when they went to London, I listened to these speeches. They were all after one Nigeria, not caring where you come from. But this present generation of politicians, they are using ethnicity, coloration, religious coloration to divide us even before we divide ourselves. And when they create this monster, our gullible minds accept and they are our foot soldiers. They carry, look, all of them. And many of them, their children are in Nigeria, none. When they go back to the UK for their children's manipulation organization, they post it for us to see. Meanwhile, you all of them to kill the educational sector.
All of them.
Oh,
no one.
There's no semblance. Now, this movement, let me tell you, this movement, this cross-carpeting is premised on corruption charges on both the past and the present. Because there's no way you and I know what's happened in Delta State pre-election. We saw what transpired. We saw the Delta State money. At 2, 3, 4, 5 months to the election, we borrowed billions from two different sources. And those billions were borrowed towards the actualization of somebody's selfish interest.
Yes. You know my page.
Somebody's selfish interest.
How does this, how does this affect Oboriwori? Okowa has his own destiny to fulfill. What you see, let me say this. What is surprising me here is it's not only Sheriff that was made a governor by somebody. Ibori made Okowa governor. Okowa was not so stupid to follow Ibori all the time. At a point in time, he told the man, stop. Stop. Now, so it's no strength. I won't be blaming Okowa here. Okowa helped to make you governor. The man did not do you any evil thing. At the point in time, you could have told him about, stop. What is Oboriwori's problem? That is the thing that I've not been able to understand. Do you know Oboriwori would have won the next election easily? How are you going to defeat him? He got the structure.
Structure, he could have. That's why the campaign is paying a lot of people.
He got everything.
Let's towards the end of Otto Ifeanyi Okowa's administration, he ran what he called smart agenda. Smart agenda. That word smart means a whole lot.
True.
He was smart enough to choose a successor
Yes.
that will play up his relevance even
That's it.
when out of
When
office.
it's no more. Even when he's dead.
That is the only smart way. That is the only smart way. That is the only smart and constitutional way you can have a third tenure.
Yes.
You can have a third
tenure,
tenure.
yes.
That's the only smart
agree.
and constitutional way you can have a smart
And
tenure.
cover
And
up
but
the
no,
mess.
Okowa,
because
but you see the problem?
If he
Okowa,
had allowed a Devie,
yeah.
yes.
No, Edelia will not listen. Edelia was going to stop it from the one.
If he had
Let me
allowed
tell you
a
this.
Devie,
Yes.
his relevance will not
It would have
have
stopped from day
outlived
one.
the swearing
From day
in day.
one. His
The
relevance would have stopped from
day
day one.
of swearing in,
Yes.
a Devie will make him know, I am the governor.
Governor. Oh,
You know,
God.
I am the governor. If
I
there
am
are professional
God.
tactful
Freely
ways
given.
I can cover your mess, yes. But going forward, allow me be.
The
You
governor.
know, so it took the smartness in Okowa
To
to
pick a predecessor.
weigh these two individuals and say,
And
yes,
pick one.
the power shift arrangement in the Delta is such that
Yes.
it has to go round. Now it is the turn of Central.
Yes.
And so in Central, I have to weigh. There was this commissioner for works. He was asked to go to. Yeah, he was asked to go. Agoye. Agoye was a gentleman, you know, but of course he was also a man of himself.
That's to go to the House of Assembly.
Yes, this professor that was a commissioner, that was Minister of Information under Babangida's time, Oyeware.
Sam
Oyeware projected him. You know, at some point he was the choice of that block, but Okowa was smart enough to weigh these guys, and in whom will I have relevance when I am out of office? And he realized that the psychological makeup of this guy is such that in 90% of the decisions he needs to make, he will need to recourse to me.
Now, interestingly, we're looking at something that has been bettered. Now, remember, while Okowa was governor, Sheriff was the Speaker of the Delta State Assembly for 8 years. And when monies are borrowed, it is rubber stamped by the House of Assembly without recourse to constitutional procedure. And I remember in the last 6 months of the Okowa regime, money was borrowed about 2 times in hundreds of billions. Immediately, Sheriff entered, they borrowed another billions of naira. They said they want to pay local government pensioners. Today, we've not heard anything about that. Now, those monies that were borrowed were speculatively, though not verified, were used to fund the PDP presidential elections. That Okowa actually betrayed the Southern governors for. They had meetings, they had 3 meetings. They had in Asaba, they had in Lagos, and they had in Port Harcourt. But the Asaba meeting was the crux where decisions were reached in agreement. And that was the fallout Wike had with the PDP till today. That's why he said he worked, he's still in PDP, but he worked all through for the APC. The average Nigerian politician, especially the ruling class, can never be trusted. Anything they tell you, take it with a pinch of salt. They can never be relied upon, because if I play tapes of these same people that are moving to APC today, some of them have come on my program on TV. If I give you visuals of what they have said about the APC, a month, 3 weeks, 2 months before this defection, you would weep for this country. You would weep for Delta State. That is it the same people that have changed the narrative, that are beginning to sing a different song. And I stand to ask myself a question. How can this country be healing or be healed with the kind of leaders that we create from our society? It is not possible. Now, when they were talking about one state, one party country, they say yes. They can't look at what's so gullible. It is because of when we are in the one party state, we're able to do constitutional reform come easily. Whether you are in a one party, constitutional reforms will come easier if credible opposition in government, if we have a realistic opposition. But this, we don't have an opposition now. And this is a recreation of dictatorship in democracy. A situation where, if you look at their faces yesterday, I will send you some clip through evening. If you look at their faces yesterday in government house, and you come outside, you start, me and you, the common man, we should start slapping ourselves that we have been fooled to follow these people here. Because they were excited. They were hugging themselves. Oh, we're not going to join us now. We're not going to join now, and I don't get problem. So even if you were a killer, you were a thief, you don't have any problem now that you have come. I looked at their faces, I looked at the people that are ruling us. They were strolling around the government house, just smiling. They went to eat, and I said, wow, this is how politics, no wonder, this is how politics really is. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just interest.
Yeah, and the interest there is about resources. Now, exactly. if you belong to the political class, the ruling class, with a particular kind of pedigree, politically speaking, in Delta State, you now have not just relevance in Abuja in terms of political appointment, in terms of contract execution, but the resources of Delta State are also available to you
to
use. So when before the people who were in the Boris camp and with NDDC to be controlled, yes, it's Abuja and NDDC, but now the resources of Delta State is available, and who will not be happy? You said they were smiling. Who will not be happy when he has the whole resources of Delta
State to
and that of Abuja accessible?
I want to. There was something that
it's about resources, resource control.
That Chris was saying something. I think was it during the course of this night. He was talking something about even if Sheriff had not decamped, and as his mouthpiece, his media aides have always said, he's working, his road infrastructure, doing flyovers in DSC roundabout, Efroom, wherever. His works could have spoken for him if truly they had ideology, even if he didn't decamp. But the decamping was the voice of Esau and the hand of Jacob. It was not a decamping out of non-performance, but a decamping to satisfy Godfatherism out of selfish interest of one person or a collective, a collection of people, personalities to satisfy. That is why if we don't remove Godfatherism from our political lexicon, it's going to be difficult. Let me tell you something that increased. Majority of the elections that are carried out are not followed, have not followed due process. It is selection. They will tell you this is before the primaries. They will already know people that are going to represent in local government, in whatever. They say this is the person where they choose. This, without even recourse to the person's mental state, intellectual capacity, his resilience, his capacity to deliver his content. They don't care. Yeah. All they are about. Now, when somebody has imposed that kind of person, of course, the structure has been so made that we are in the PDP state, and the PDP would always win, except in extreme cases where the people have refused, like what we saw during a DPP, where Senator Weredo won in that axis, especially around that Udu, as the DPP won, and we saw what Labour Party's influence is in some areas. But in all this, I was on set with a chieftain of the APC, that was on Thursday, and he told me something. He said that grassroots, that politics is grassroots, that whether Abuja say is you, for example, is that decrease for this position, and the state PDP structure or APC structure, as the case may be, decides that this is not this person that we want. That was how Accord Party was. He told me that was how Accord Party was formed in Delta State when they were in PDP. That the people they want, they not told them, yeah, go and take the form in Accord Party. That the PDP structure at the state level is not going to support the person that the federal has been suggested by federal, but they will support you. And we saw cases where Accord Party won House of Assembly seat and won some local government councillor seat, because that was the balance. So it is all about deception. Politics in Nigeria is all about deception. There's no realistic participation in politics on ground. No, I mean, I weep for this country. I weep every day.
It is. And when we are in situations like this, I just want us to have a lighter show today because I'm sure you guys are going to have another bunch of show to see the outcome. I mean, it's good to share the images of of what happened in Asaba today. It will be quite interesting. But my take is, I am still going to bed. I've slept about it again and again, and I'm wondering what is the need for Boriwori and Okowa. Whether this step is you are between the devil and the deep blue sea. Yes, you will no more go to prison. But you are coming to the den. You know what you guys did to Vitoshe? You're not coming to him and tell him shut up. You're coming to Ebori and tell him shut up. Who is now going to be the head of the party? Have they all surrendered to Ebori? And Ebori is in charge. Where does he leave you? How you try Ebori will even give you the ticket for 2020 or 2027? You see, these are things they should have considered. You understand? And I wonder. Yes, Tinubu just want to win the election. But when the chips are down, Tinubu will put his shoulder. This one not concern me. No, Baba, a Yoruba man. Will say, this one not concern me. Trust me. So what we're going through here is a situation where Oboriwori betrayed Nigeria, betrayed Deltans, betrayed Yoruba people, betrayed himself and his family. I've never seen a man with no atom of integrity like Oboriwori. I'm sorry. I've never met a human being because the guy has won. If you tell me the structure of Delta State is intact, nobody, there's no amount. Ibori could not win the election. Why did Ibori not win Okowa? Okowa was having the state. Whatever Okowa did, you even can do better. Learn from your predecessor. That is the thing. Hold the state. Why did you now choose to decamp? You're going into the den of the lion. Those people are waiting. What a big miscalculation. Okowa is in trouble because Ibori is not going to sit down in the same place with Okowa now, and Okowa will be talking. Ibori will trust him. No. Okowa, everybody know you cannot be trusted. You are a traitor, a betrayer. We know that now. So nowhere you will go that Deltans will believe you. And those people you are playing with now, who are you going to talk to, Vitoshe? Who is going to trust Okowa? What is Okowa going to say that will make people? He said, "Oh, you think Tinubu trusts you? You joking, man? If Tinubu could see, I'm going to play that picture for Tinubu. When Okowa was there laughing, this guy was this guy from Kogi. He would talk to like this and fall that the president is a sickler. They still playing that one in the video. Now, you think Tinubu will not trust you? I don't know. It's better to die a man. Okowa refused to die a man. And Oboriwori here, you carry the sin of Okowa in your head. You go carry the shit. In fact, I have no respect for Oboriwori. I wouldn't have voted for him, but at the point in time, I accepted him as my brother, as a governor, and we respect him. Let's work together. Let's move the state. But what you've done, you betrayed your own family. I know people will not have anything to say today. But if they don't tell you, sir, you should be ashamed because the world is watching. You're not only within that Delta state. You're not playing politics. No, sir. You're going to come out and your children are going to ask you tomorrow, what happened? You will not even be the next governor. If you don't take time, these guys, the everybody guys, they can actually, if you play with them, what Wike did there is joke. They will move you from the office. They will pass vote of no confidence. Now you are no more controlling the state. The state is no more with Okowa. The state is now in the hands of Ibori. How can you trust that you will even be there for the next 2 years? What kind of reconciliation are you going to get? And now, the good thing that will happen is, and that the Christ will always be part of that movement. I want an alternative party for Nigeria. If PDP remain, I remain in PDP. In fact, there will be a slogan, if PDP will remain. Anywhere PDP, anywhere, we will start to sing so that people can stay in PDP. Let them stay in their APC. What has the APC done that is so good for Nigeria that you people are so, oh God. Sometimes you wonder what is wrong with us. Yeah, PDP is not good, APC is not good. But what PDP, you are at least you're now beginning to get people's sympathy. PDP will be thinking of how do we get maybe someone like Peter Obi into the party back. And look for a likable candidate. and give. Tinubu is fighting for his life. Tinubu knew that if they not come back together and they are able to have Obi, that is history. If the North will come together and Peter Obi agree to work with them, PDP, this man, our president, is history. He's fighting for his survival. He is fighting, and now you are following him. Anybody Tinubu will sacrifice to find his way, he will do it. You might be the sacrificial lamb. I said it again and again. When they were talking, if Tinubu and Ibori, they go sacrifice you. They will sacrifice you for what they want. And Okowa made a very big mistake. There was no way they're going to put you in prison, Okowa. It's money you're going to spend. When did you even change? Okowa used to be an intelligent man. Who was going to put him in prison? Where? If all you need to do is settle behind. Tell the northern leaders that, hey, what are you doing? If you put him in prison, we're going to get 2027 more difficult for you. Why is this man, Kogima, not in prison? Did you steal more money than the Kogima? Yes, you stole more, though. You stole more. But the man is still there. His case was clear. But where is he? Where is Yaya Bello? He's at home, enjoying with his wife. Yaya Bello might run for president again. Because Nigeria have no shame, no single atom of shame. No get. Nigeria have in fact, not be only the leaders now. We are nothing. Because if somebody like Yaya Bello will come again and say, like Okowa will come again. Okowa that we know, they told us he stole 1.3 trillion. He's decamping today. We are dancing with him. Somebody that made the way with your 1.3 trillion. We not ask EFCC what happened to that case. So tomorrow now, Okowa is now in the APC. That matter is over. Mashak, what will you tell your children if they ask you this? I'm not, this is too serious. What will you tell, what are we going to say to the kids that if my son today in London asks me, is this happen? Sometimes they ask me a question and I say, yeah, it didn't happen. Because I will not be telling them that I was so much of a coward not to be able to do anything. All I will say is it didn't happen. They're just talking. You are too young to know. Children today are asking difficult questions. Your state, you come from a state which is said to be the richest state, if not the richest state in the world. They have all the oil in the world. Listen, the rest people that have oil, look at Dubai. They are shining. Delta State have more oil than Dubai. Look at where we are. We are blessed. If you see our land, there's nothing you're looking for in Delta State that is not there. Where is the Delta State? And yet today you are dancing. You people are dancing, celebrating the cross carpeting of a low-level governor. I don't know. I've never seen. Sorry, when they were telling that this man doesn't have brain, I thought this was a joke. I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt. I thought it was a joke. Oh, the man is not intelligent. He's not doing this. They were convincing me. I said, what are you talking? He's a human being. He's a lawyer. You know, he went to a secondary school. I went to Ogari Grammar School. This is the secondary school he attended. This man we're talking about now. And I was defending him. I attended Ogari Grammar School. Let me tell you this story. That is school. Then Ibori attended the same Ogari Grammar School. Most of us, Omar Gege senior brother, we call him Azena, attended, he was a year ahead of me in Ogari Grammar School. Now, when we left Ogari Grammar School, Odua was made a governor. Odua handed over because the Ogari Grammar School then belonged to the Baptist Church. Odua handed over that school to the Baptist Church. So my community created, they now renamed the school a model school. My community now built their own school and call it Ogariki Grammar School. That is the one the sheriff attended. So when sheriff said I attended Ogariki Grammar School, it was the reformed Ogariki Grammar School, not the one we attended. So when they were saying that the man didn't have certificate, I said, no, there's two Ogariki Grammar School. Don't get it wrong. Because there's no way he would have graduated the year he said from our Ogariki Grammar School. He went to the second one. And for this man to come today, and I was defending him. if this man ever went to that school, because for you to be an old man going to school, you couldn't be that great. Because at that age, Sheriff was no more a child. So that's when you finished secondary school and now went to law school, to this Ekpoma to go and study law. And this is the result we're getting. The result of Sheriff, we need to go back to the book. Sheriff is a disappointment, not only to himself, but oh God, I cannot even describe this. Because as far as I'm concerned, our state has been hijacked again. But it's from my place. Then everybody don't hijack the place again. It's not good. It's not in the interest of the people. What is the theater playing today now? That drama you watch in the Nigerian, in the Delta State Theater today, it's not in the interest of the people. Now we are no more relevant. Trust me. We are no more. In fact, Oboriwori no more have control of that state. Oboriwori was a better governor than whoever you're going to get now. You are now having another Oboriwori. Oboriwori before was willing to work. He was moving around trying to see that the contract is executed. You know, that you must give him that credit. The man was trying. He wanted to make a name for himself. But it's going to be different now. The people that will be coming, raising their ugly head from the woodwork, they are so big and so ugly that all they care is the money. They will never be satisfied. And you see, if you see my pain, I'm using only my community to compare. Ogara is where I come from. Ibori daughter is representing us. Let me talk. He's the one representing us in the house of it was a big battle. She managed to win the election, and she's now in House of Rep. It was a big battle. So there was a division in my community. If you see how deep this thing is, the young man who was there before, one Benny Bakwa, they fought so much. Okowa had to even empower the Bakwa to fight Ibori in his village. That's where we're coming from. He empowered him to fight Ibori. To the extent that sometimes they were laughing at Ibori group. That's the same way you're going to. Now, I'm not interested in whatever happened. They can kill themselves. But my pain is this. While this was going on, those people that Ibori daughter was so careful, she was trying to do everything to make the people happy. So she can go for the second term. She was doing everything humanly possible to go. And this is what she did. In fact, today, if you go there, oh, you see, you don't bring this, you don't bring this. I've never seen her say as she's working. I don't want to see her work because I don't believe in infrastructure development. You guys know me. Because I don't understand the kind of empowerment they are talking about. But to some extent, at least during Christmas, they brought rice from two sides. Well, it's like you now have two wives. This one bring. And so when my grandpa they eat in those days, this wife go bring, this wife go bring, this one go bring. The food will come plenty. So that was what we're getting. But now, the wife that we even bring now, when you marry only one wife, disadvantage though. My people, I tell you, don't marry one wife. And when I talk, it's not here. It's a sin to marry a wife. What I saw my grandfather, because if you marry one, she knows you have no option. Now, what did she give you, go eat? If they have to 3, 4, you know, if you don't give, the other one will give. They compete. Sorry, women, not obvious. You know, they can kill me for this. But that is a fact. Now, we don't have 2 wives in my place. They will not even, in fact, nobody cares what you say now. They don't even care what I'm saying. They are interested in how they're going to share the power because that's where it is. They don't need us anymore. Why will Ibori come to you? Why will Ibori go and inspect project when he has them Ibori to inspect him? He's going to be he'll be answering questions to them people that made him now because it's no more made by Okowa alone. The people that made Oboriwori now, they are more. If Obori could not bend down, he could not deal with Okowa pressure. How is he going to deal with all them Ibori pressure? We are in trouble. You cannot handle all Okowa. You don't even handle one wife. How many wives you get now, Oboriwori? You get Ibori on your shoulder. You have Amagege on your shoulder. Oh God. You have Okowa on your shoulder. You have the President Tinubu on your shoulder. You be wild, they go pump you well. That your waka, you go to waka like this now, you go to pull out. I swear. The man is in trouble. And so are we. Where did we get this wrong? How did we manage to vote this man governor? What a mistake. It's a mistake of a moment. In fact, the proportion, I can't describe it because I can't tell my children what happened. And we can be joking today. It looks as if it's a joke. But this is more than a joke, brother. It's more than a joke. It's a destiny. I keep saying it. The destinies of our youth, of our children, is what you see them with this. 2, 3 will benefit, of course. Those 3 will want to kill me now I'm talking. But where is the rest of the people? If you go to my place today, not that I'm not angry enough, that the young people are either riding keke or okada or yao. Go to where Ibori come from. I'm talking. If you see people from Ogara, in fact, the last time when I got home, Ibori was governor. When I got home, the road they don't construct and everything. I was in Lagos. I wanted to put my family. They were going back, so I put them in the vehicle so they can go because I will not go there to go. The person said, "Will they stop anywhere except Ogara?" I said, "Why you not stop Ogara?" He said, "Anytime you stop Ogara, they must rob you." Then, and I asked, governor come from there. They say, "When I get money, robbery see there. That is the kind of place we're talking about." I'm talking, and anybody that said this is a lie, now prosperity go judge me and you tomorrow. I am not ready. I'm not afraid of anybody. But anything I said today, if you think it's a lie, prosperity will judge us. This is what happened in Ogara then, in not the Ogara today. Only few will get it. The rest are in. In fact, anything you put in Ogara, you don't come it up. The same place. So now, before we said now there are 2. They were now the attention was coming from 2 sides. You know, Ibori daughter has given some people a job now. They are in NDDC. She's trying to empower some. Now, Ibori is now doing his own part. So the thing was getting in twofold. Now, these people will no more come to us. It's now how Ibori and Okowa and Omagege and they're going to share the money. The money not reach and share now. What do they talk? Why would they care about you? If you see Ibori again, go about watching, looking at project, change my name. He doesn't need to go and look at the project anymore. Why is he doing that? The guy was doing it because he knew the people were important. Now the people are no more. If I have a way, I would have. In fact, if somebody will tell me, if not my brother, I know will let him do this, take this decision. No way. Not only for my sake, for your own sake. Now you can't. It's not even sure he will come back because he make mistake once now. Tinubu go put such light on you. Tinubu was scared. You think Tinubu is God? He's fighting for survival. If Delta State has remained what it is, Tinubu would have been a more careful president. I'm talking to Nigerians as a whole. If they follow Tinubu, everybody following Tinubu, why did Tinubu care? Tinubu was afraid. He was going to do things right because he knew that he could lose some part of Delta, or he could lose Delta State, or he could continue to lose Delta State. Tinubu, anything you say Tinubu will do, he will do for you. You think politicians care about you? They want to win. So if you are important, they will talk to you. If you're not important, they don't need to talk to you. I always say to my friend, you are too loyal to your people. My friend is playing politics of always nice to people, always nice. It's always yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. I said, look at where it's left you. In politics, you don't say yes, sir, always, because then they think you cannot do anything. But when they see that you are trouble, then they need to calm you. Why would they come to you if you're not important? Now, as it is now, we are no more important. And it's sad. We are the sacrificial lamb. Jesus Christ don't pay for this sin before. Now, debtors are going to pay again and again and again. This Easter, I'm not sure, say Delta State. We came here the last few days ago to say have Delta State risen? Have we risen? Maybe Nigeria has even risen. Delta refused to rise from the dead. What a shame. May God help all of us. I said we should do a little bit of a lighter show today. I didn't know we we're going to do. Let's remove the prostitution because that will help us to do things better. All right, let's think about what these people have done now. I was talking about this one. What do people think about this? So you guys hate Akpabio so much, that after Senator now, una give am Bianca. What's the difference between Bianca and this one? Let's be sincere now. Mary, where's Mary? Mary will say, let's be sincere. What's the difference between these two people? No, Baba, come on first. We don't want your face. Not be like this woman. And what's the difference between this one and this one? Well, look at them. And you know that this man love this thing. Why did you people take? Why? I'm going to leave this with Mashak. Mashak, why did you people are so wicked that you want to just disgrace this man? Why do you just want to bring Akpabio down? What has Akpabio done to Nigerians? That you only give him the things that will cause him. You know, there's this poison food. You always poison this man so that you call him a bad name. Well, there's a woman in my place. Let me tell you one story before you tell. Yes, sir. Go on, sir. Go.
This one is quite different. This one is quite different. Now, there's no basis for comparing Natasha and Bianca. Natasha is not. It's a poisonous snake.
Okay.
And of course, Bianca is Black Mamba. Akpabio knows he cannot. There's no class. There are class differentials. Bianca is more honorable and does not have any form of controversy around her. And besides that, Bianca is in line with our constitutional provisions as the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. But besides all that, I asked a salient question. As the Senate President, how many times has he left the Senate with some of the senators to the red zones where we have crime and criminality, to Benue State, to Plateau State, to Kaduna State? Even during plenary, when representatives of those states have been crying that they are killing their people, the Senate President didn't budge one time. That, okay, let's go. Let me take the Senate Committee on Conflict Resolution or whatever. Let's go and see these crisis areas and see firsthand and see what we can do. It's more in tune and inclined with controversies, especially along emotional and sexual lines to the contracts of governance. Yes, I love.
All right, the network has started again.
So how do you think when they were coming from the airport, they were still carrying their shoulder? But when they got now that red chair, now the burial chair, the reception venue chair, now they put them sit down. They were thinking it was going to be that kind of luxury. And if you look at the picture, see Bianca not even send down. Bianca is more engrossed with what is.
But Akpabio get 500 million to give up. Don't underrate the power of money.
Bianca gets her own money. Not be this guy. Akpabio gets them full Abuja, make it there with those ones. Not be this.
No, the wife of a general is a general.
Yes.
You know, so whether Ojukwu is living or dead, Bianca is a general. And don't forget, there was something that she did the day that Anambra State, the former governor of Anambra State, Obiano, Willie Obiano. So it was a valedictory. Their last day in office, and there was a way that Obiano's wife carried on. Bianca gave her a valedictory slap.
Yes,
that's an endorsement of that. I am a general, you know.
That's
so
funny.
the day Akpabio will try some of those his nuances and display or manifest some of those his weaknesses. Bianca will give him a valedictory slap that will clear the illusion from his eyes.
All right. Then, Baba, make you know say if you look at too much, that slap you will get. Don't overlook her. She not send. You know, because this man is able to give my only worry is that this is a man that can give 500 million for just one. If you do 500 million with that, I will give 1 billion here. The man has money. But and can you imagine the amount of money they've stolen from us? Nigerians, you know the amount of money they have stolen. And the people are suffering. Okay.
Off the mic. You know, please, off the mic and off the mic. as minister in charge of NDDC. And, we see a situation where accountability has been thrown to the dogs. When public service lacks accountability, then it will end up with the resources being in the hand of a few individuals. The resources that were supposed to have translated into development. You go all over the place, you see NDDC projects that were conceived, started, but abandoned. You understand? And roads and projects that they were supposed to have carried out, and maybe that could have changed the landscape, as it were. But that kind of money entering, and when the money available to certain individuals is more than the vision they have for either investment or development, it could give them the kind of weakness that is manifesting in God's will at Babio now. That any woman, he believes, because to him he says, what money cannot buy, more money can buy.
Is that what he said? I like that.
What money cannot buy, more money can
agree
buy.
With you,
so
agree.
if he gives you 250 million and you are still telling him, oh no, it's not convenient, no, he doubles it into 500 million. He is aroused, and all he wants is that he has seen the promised land. He doesn't want to be like Moses, who sees the promised land and not enter. So he's ready to put in more money. Yes. And that happens to be his major witness that over time has played out. But come to think of it, he has lived with that witness even as an 8-year governor of Akwa Ibom State, one of the very rich. And he has also played it back as a minister, and today he's, it hasn't negatively affected his political profiling. It is only you and I who see that it's a value deficiency. But to him, he's carrying on with it. And it also tells you so much about the kind of politics that we have and the politics that we are playing.
Anyway, we're going to try and just take a look at one or two papers, and I'll leave that to you. I don't know where Mary is, because some of the things the show's supposed to end here now. We have one or two things to do. But if you guys can just run through one or two papers with us, that would help, so that we can wrap the show today.
Okay. So while we are expecting Mary to come on, Punch has PDP calls emergency meeting to halt Hurricane Tinubu.
I like that.
PDP,
oh man! Now they're using our words. Oh, now they use our word. Good.
Defection. PDP calls emergency meeting to halt Hurricane Tinubu. That is a Punch talking about this spate of defections, the gray of defections, that they can only describe that as a hurricane. Hurricane Tinubu appears to be unstoppable. So now PDP has scheduled a meeting for tomorrow to discuss that. That is the lead story in Punch. But I will wish us this morning to juxtapose that with the lead story in Vanguard. Tinubu to opposition. Don't blame me for inability to manage your affairs. Don't blame. So PDP has scheduled a meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, to see how to stop Hurricane Tinubu. But the lead story in Vanguard is telling us that Tinubu is replying opposition. Don't blame me for inability to manage your affairs. I will wish us in the analysis segment to look at what is happening to the opposition. Is it a case of their inability to put their house in order or their houses in order? Or is it a case of the ruling party infiltrating their rank and file and simulating the kind of crisis that is going on? And now the ruling party is saying, Don't hold me accountable. Don't blame me for your inability to manage your affairs. So where
Good
do we
question.
stand in this
Good question.
swing and the pendulum?
It's a good one you asked. You know, this is the two things there. First, the ruling party, they are not innocent, because if you don't join us, you're going to prison. And don't forget, they said another thing too. Anything the money cannot buy, more money can buy it. So
More
when you
money
have
can
those
buy.
two weapons,
Everyone
when you
has a
have,
price.
yes, so when you have those two weapons, eh, when you put your hand this way, people die the other side of the river. You see, when what Pastor Chris was doing, Pastor Chris was like, we don't do like this, people will fall. They do like this, people fall. That's what you see is happening. You know, so that is exactly. Hurricane Tinubu is a magician. He has a miracle. It's a church. If you go to church, it's Tinubu for go that church. They go 4 people. Touch you 4. How many of you have gone 4? Machak, somebody touch you, you fall in the church. That's exactly what you see. So I think that is exactly what is going on. However, PDP, PDP problem started from day 1 and day 2 and day 3. Where on earth is Atiku coming from again? The next thing we're gonna hear now is Atiku. The next thing we're gonna hear now is Atiku. Why do they tie their destiny within Atiku? That is where the problem is. PDP could not come up with a candidate. No, at some point in time, it's time we come and say, okay, it's time for us to change. Atiku cannot only be the only credible person in the north. I'm sure in those days, I am from the south, but I love one guy from the north. If you put him down with anybody in the south, I'll vote for him. Sanusi. I vote for Sanusi any day for president of Nigeria before, when he was the TBN governor. That guy is sound. He's not an enemy. So you're not telling me that there's no good people in the north who can be president. But of course, you always keep bringing Tinubu, keep bringing Atiku. Atiku is coming out again. And what future can you ever have with such a person? So as long as you continue to bring Atiku, PDP will continue to fail. And that is the destiny. And that's why that has nothing to do. That's why it is easy, or becomes easier, for Hurricane Tinubu to operate the way he's operating now. And it's a sad one. Because we need a sound PDP to give us the opposition we need. We talked about the need for credible opposition in Nigeria before. And that need can never be overemphasized. I pray that the time will come when we realize this. So that will be my take on that. I know Macha to say one or two things before we close. Yeah.
Yes, self-inflicted. The crisis in PDP was self-inflicted. I mean, the signs of what is happening now what started immediately after the meetings with the governors said that the betrayal came from Okowa. Yeah. Immediately Wike, they saw that Wike was working for APC. Wike should have been expelled from the party, but I didn't know why they were so afraid of him. And that was where the problem actually started. Because, I mean, you cannot be my enemy and still be staying together after you have tried poisoning me. And PDP started being infiltrated by infidels from the APC, fifth columnist, and they took the soul of PDP away with what you said, those two things. The fear of the EFCC. They were threatened by the EFCC, they were threatened by the APC, held strongly onto the strong institutions, the legislation, the EFCC, the INEC, the judiciary, and the fear of corruption charges being projected towards some of these PDP members brought them to the ground. And I think, like you mentioned, Atiku as well. There's a time you leave the stage for the younger ones to take over. It's no longer marketable even to the average northerner. It's no longer, he has credibility issues, and of course his choice of Atiku of Okowa there didn't go down well, even with a lot of northerners. Even a lot of northerners. So he was already positioned to lose. So all said and done, it's a script that is acting out. Well, for me, I'm watching Nollywood. So I'm watching how the film is going to end.
And part of that script, we also have in Vanguard. Maybe we take that as part of the closing. Vanguard is a second lead story on the front. Defections. Oborewori, Omo Agege, battle for Delta APC leadership. What that tells us is that what is playing out today is just but a chapter in a big political.
Is the introduction of the book.
It's not the last.
Is the opening of the movie? When you open a movie, you see the opening.
In fact, the opening is the opening chapter of the book, and it will be very intriguing. It will be quite dramatic, and there's so much suspense. So we are going to wait for the other, chapters to see how it's going to be, because defections, Oborowori, Omo Agege battle for Delta APC. So cross-carpeting is not about Uhuru. It's not the end of the book, it's but the beginning. And because there are still battles ahead over who now controls Delta APC.
The former APC structure still controls and will continue to control. And
that is something we're going to see, because Oborowori is coming with a lot of money, with a lot of resources, and then the people there before are big boys. That's why we end the show today, my people. This is the African Renaissance Television, and it's a morning show. We call it Rise and Shine. This is what we do. We bring it to you every morning. We talk to you about what is happening in Nigeria. You may not agree with what we say, but hey, you are free to join the show at some point. You will be able to call in and have your say. And you might actually want to be a guest. Just contact us, and you might be here with us. That's where we end today's show. Again, thank you very much, Engineer Mashak and Chief Ubaka. It's a privilege to work with two of you. You help to put it in perspective, to put it in context.
Thank you very much.
And I am very proud of you. Thank you very much, people. That's where we draw the curtain for this very edition. Until tomorrow, one will be here again. Please stay out of trouble. And I enjoy the drama. Sometimes, at the point in time, we're going to forget the trouble and just sit down and watch a Nollywood movie. At the end, it may have impact on every one of us, but now we can't do nothing about it. But be very clever to go out and sensitize the people on the need to have a better Nigeria. You're going to start from states like Delta State, doing the right thing. The destiny of Delta State has been hijacked for too long. It was about to be free. It's gone into the doom again. But let's hope that another opposition will come. Don't underrate what God can do. God brought Moses when they were not expecting that anybody would take the children of Israel out of Egypt. Maybe Moses will just come out from nowhere. Are you a young Delta? Don't be afraid. Let me repeat. Don't be afraid to say, I am going to be the governor. Do not be afraid. I repeat, do not be afraid. That's why I end the show today. Thank you very much for joining me. Till tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. Nigeria Week London 2025 is coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com.